This time, we saw the Jehovah's Witnesses, who have been everywhere in Louisville recently. After saying he would talk to me, one of the Jehovah's Witnesses angrily eyed my microphone, and I knew that this would be a difficult conversation. Here's what happened. Hey guys.
Hello.
Yeah.
Are you guys Jehovah's Witnesses?
Yes, we are.
You mind if I ask you guys a couple of quick questions?
Sure.
All right. So,
Am I on camera?
yeah, we record sometimes out here. So it's just a microphone. Just
I don't want to be on camera.
we can blur faces and things like that. I just wanted to ask a couple quick questions.
You turn it off.
Turn it off? Could I ask you, like, just as a Jehovah's Witness, I've talked to some out here before, and they've given me some.
If you turn that off.
I have to turn this off. You won't talk to me on
I
camera.
don't want to be on camera.
We're in a public area.
Right. I know.
Okay.
But
Is
that's a violation of my rights. So.
No, this isn't a violation of rights. We're in a public.
My right. I've asked you to turn it off.
We're in a one-party consent state, so we're allowed to film like in public area.
Well, I choose not to talk to you then.
Okay. Just ask a couple quick questions as Jehovah's Witnesses. Like, I've talked to some before. I think it could be, helpful to get some dialogue. Like,
You talked to some before. What's your purpose?
yeah, well, they actually gave me a list right here. I'd love to show it to you. I had one really nice Jehovah's Witness lady. She gave me a list of all the reasons. She hand wrote them all. It was, I think it was very nice of her to take the time. She gave me a list of 55 reasons that she doesn't believe that Jesus is God. And one of them includes Proverbs 8, verse 22. And I would be really interested to just hear your guys' thoughts on this, because, she wrote this all out.
Well, that's okay. Why don't you just talk with her again?
Well, she was out in one of these carts like you guys, and I don't have her phone number. I don't have any way of contacting her.
That's okay.
And so,
I feel like our purpose isn't to engage in contradictory dialogue. We're here. If you would like to take something, you're welcome to. But we would feel like you've probably already spoken with enough Jehovah's Witnesses to understand our stand on. I'm assuming your position, or you're trying to discuss the Trinity doctrine. Is that correct? Like the identity of God and other.
sure. And we could talk about something else as well if you guys feel that's too controversial for you guys. But really, I haven't really gotten any answers to this particular objection, or some of them.
I have a problem with that camera.
Why do you have a problem?
You haven't listened to me.
If you were recording me, I wouldn't have a problem with that.
I have a problem with it, so I don't want you recording me.
Would
I
you
will not discuss something with you on that camera.
Okay. So,
Or my wife. We're done.
yeah. Have you considered the fact that there are cameras everywhere all around here?
We're done. I have no idea where that's going after I talk with you. I will not discuss.
But if you have the truth, wouldn't you share it? Wouldn't you want to share the truth?
If you were really looking for the truth, you turn that off and listen.
Yeah, I have turned this off and listened to many Jehovah's Witnesses before, and I would.
Heard what I've had to say, and that's.
But you haven't even listened to what I'd asked. So we record conversations with tons of people all the time. It's not just you guys, and other people will give us conversations if they're Roman Catholic, if they're any other people, and if they're not part of a cult. That's what they do. They're willing to. A personal choice. Like I said, we could blur your face. It doesn't have to be anything to do with you at all.
I talk with you, but you won't do it. So I have that right.
Okay. Is it because there's something that you're saying that you don't want other people to know about?
You can take your leave. No, there's nothing secret.
Okay.
It's my personal viewpoint. I don't like to be on camera.
So like Proverbs 8, are you familiar with Proverbs 8?
Good day.
You're in public property, sir.
Good day.
Okay. We both have a right to stand here.
It's true.
That's true. Okay.
What's your name?
My name's Dimitri. What's your name?
Julie. Where are you?
Julie. Yeah, I'm from Missouri, but I live in Louisville. So live in the area, just kind of.
You go to
I actually
college here?
not here, but JCTC, so it's pretty close to here. I was watching my little brother Toby the other day. I had 2 Jehovah Witnesses come to my door. Wasn't recording, just had a conversation with them. I'd love to show some of my friends this video and be able to show them like, hey, this is how the conversation goes. Do the same thing with Roman Catholics, do the same thing with Muslims, do the same thing with whoever else it is. And we're just having a conversation. We don't cut a lot of the video, we just make it, here, this is what you're saying. So we would really love to just say, like Proverbs 8, very simple.
So if you could just respect that would be appreciated.
Yeah.
Okay, there's plenty of others that may feel differently, and you're welcome to try that. But for us, we would just rather not.
Okay. Well, guys, I really do want to warn you. You are teaching something that's wrong, and that you're not willing to have a conversation with someone. If you brought up a camera to me, if you pulled out your phone and recorded me, I would have no problem with you recording me, because what I'm saying is true. Dimitri, that's right, Julie.
Can you just, it was nice to meet you, but please, if you would just take your leave and meet someone else.
Yeah, that's what I'm very familiar, get that a lot with Jehovah Witnesses. I talked to Jehovah Witnesses for about 50 minutes one time, didn't even, just normal conversation, just had a normal conversation with them. And they weren't able to answer anything that was said. And I think that's very common Jehovah Witnesses. They don't want to engage in dialogue. And so, I would love to talk about Proverbs 8. I'd actually, if you would want to pick any one of the 55 objections that this one wrote, any one to talk about, yeah. And so if you had the truth, it would be expected that you would say the truth, right? So that's expected.
You can go to jw.org.
I have gone there, and I'd love to discuss, like, people that believe the Trinity don't believe that Jesus and the Father are the same person. That's a common thing that's on there. They'll say they're not the same person. They'll say a lot of things like that. And so I'm just telling you, they're not. We're not saying they're the same person. We're saying one God, 3 persons. Jesus said, if you don't believe I'm He, you'll die in your sins. And so he's talking about, he said, before Abraham was, I am. Goes back to Exodus 3, where God said, before Abraham was, or where God said, call me I am. So Jesus is calling himself the I am there. So it's a lot of things we could talk about, sir. Are they going to want to talk, have a conversation? We can step away from the booth. I'd be happy to.
No, I'm not talking to you. I told you that.
Okay. Yes, sir. Hey, guys, I'm Dimitri. Yeah.
Okay. All right, we can do that.
Hello, sir.
It's about time for us to be going anyway.
Okay. All right, guys. I really would love to.
You don't
Love to have a
listen.
conversation.
I told you get me off camera, and you didn't do it, so I have nothing to
You
say
really
to you.
would love to talk to us, you would
I have nothing to say to you.
turn the camera off and talk about it, but you don't want to. So that's
I would. Are you really going to talk to me if I turn the camera off? If I turn this off and you can see it's off, and turn the camera off, you're telling me you'll talk to me and we'll have a conversation?
You've got questions that I'm not going to answer.
Yeah.
I told you.
And that's what-
jw.org.
Yeah, but
you've already asked them, and you've had Jehovah's Witnesses talk with you. We all,
yeah.
most likely respond the same.
Well, I really do care for your soul. You don't believe hell's eternal. You don't believe Jesus is God. I'm not harassing you or doing anything. I'm just out here in public doing my First Amendment right. I'm not harassing you. No.
Because you haven't abided by my wishes.
Sir, you're not abiding by my wishes either. Are you harassing me? We're both in public having a discussion. That's part of our...
Thank you. Have a good night.
Okay.
Have a good night.
All right. Thanks, guys. Jesus said, if you don't believe I am He, you'll die in your sins.
Remember that list of 55 objections that I mentioned earlier? Well, I responded to all 55 objections in an over 50-page PDF. If you would like to see my response to all of these objections, then click the video on the screen. God bless.